Disappointing. That was disappointing.
Concerned about where you guys are at heading to the playoff right now?
I mean, obviously, we know we can't play like that next week. If we do, our season will be over. So we're going to have to dig deep and make a decision, what does this mean to us? And, I believe it's important to us. I believe we care about it. But, the talking is not what's going to get it done. It's going to be execution and playing well whenever we play next.
Do you think that's an issue, that guys maybe don't want it? Or?
No. I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying.
The slow starts is something that Coach mentioned this week. He said they popped up at different times over the course of the season. Anything you can put your finger on, Matthew, as to why those keep popping up?
I don't know. I think it's a number of things. I mean, certainly whether it's energy, focus, execution, you name it. We're not doing anything well enough early in the games to give ourselves a chance to get in a rhythm and remain competitive early on. And obviously, it's tough playing from behind. And now the next team we play will be the best team we've seen all year. So if we do that, if we play like that, it'll be really challenging for us.
In those games with the bad starts, whether it was today, Buffalo, or Indianapolis, you guys still fought in the second half. Even in the losses, those three losses, do you take anything the way you sort of rallied in the third and fourth quarter to get back in the game?
Well, so I think it says a lot about our character. We're not going to quit, but, you know as well as I do, this time of year, going out there and competing to the end doesn't mean anything if you don't have more points than the other team. So, we've taken some solace in some competitive efforts early on, but at this time of year, all you care about is winning.
The last part of the game, Matthew, crazy things. Why do crazy things always seem to happen?
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's, I don't know. But we got to flush it, and we got to move on the next week.
Matthew, the playing from behind, particularly hard when you're asking a rookie quarterback, to lead you guys?
It's hard for anyone. Certainly we don't want to put the offense and Mac in that position, but it doesn't matter if you got a quarterback that's been playing 30 years. You have Dan Marino out there. It's still going to be tough for you to come back from 17 points on anyone.
The illegal formation call on the punt, just how disappointing is that?
It's you make it so hard on the defense. They get a stop, we're getting the ball back. We go from that to giving the ball, and then them taking more time off the clock and kicking a field goal, and we end up losing by a field goal. So, stuff like that just kills you. It's disappointing, but we got to get it fixed. We can't have that stuff keep happening.
Is this as surprising as it is disappointing to you?
And I wouldn't say surprising. It's National Football League. Any team can beat any team. I always tell my 6-year-old that. I said, any team can beat any team, son. So I'm not surprised. I think it's more disappointing that we went out and, started the game as poorly as we did, and then, just ran out of time at the end.
Final question.
But like you said, you got to flush it, right? Because as the leader of this football team, you can't be too far down.
It's over with.
Right?
We better leave this game here in Miami. We better leave it here. Look, it's real now. We got to go. So, however sorry we feel for ourselves or however down we are about today's game, we got to leave it here.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks.
All right, there you go. That's Matthew Slater, the captain. We'll have Bill Belichick. We'll have Mac Jones coming out as well. You're watching the Patriots the fifth quarter. Scott Zolak
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Welcome back to Patriots fifth quarter. This is the Patriots running back, Bolden.
Brandon, how would you sum up what happened here today?
We lost. Simple as that.
What do you think contributed to that?
We had to go back and look at the film, but ultimately we didn't score enough points on offense. And we didn't execute as well as we should have on special teams. I can't say nothing about defense because it's above my pay grade, honestly.
Brandon, what can you guys do to not have some of these slow starts on offense here?
Get back to the fundamentals. Start fast. I mean, there's a lot we could do, but there's a lot of stuff we didn't do today. So we got to go back, get back in the film room, and we got to, find the answer to all y'all questions, honestly.
On your second touchdown, you saw a flag thrown. almost what you need is like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Did you feel that way?
Yeah, most definitely. This was a lot of penalties being thrown out there today, and it's just to see one on a touchdown. It could have been anybody's touchdown.
Right,
It's just like, damn, another one. I'm sorry. I mean, another one. So.
You didn't feel you touched the putter either, too. I know the lead did lower, but
Yeah,
you could clearly
most
see
definitely. I did. I did. I went in there and I was trying to get the ball off of him, but I did not touch him at all. So, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Ball don't bounce your way every time, and you know they call what they call.
But those guys wear the headsets. I mean, like to think that, hey, we see the review real quick. Let's get the right call out there. The PIs, all that stuff.
Right. In a perfect world, yeah. But, you know, that's not what happened. So we just got to play the game of football as it's being called. And, you know, we just didn't get that one.
You're a special teams guy.
Yeah.
What is it on special teams this year that has set you guys back a little bit?
Again, that's another thing we're going to have to go back in the film and try to figure out. I don't even have an answer for you on that one.
Brandon, the culture here is you guys have proved we want to be building to something towards the end of the year. What's the frame of mind with the way these last 4 games have gone for you guys?
It's not over. There's no reason to lay down and take anything. We got a lot to fight for. And I know me personally, that's how I'm approaching it. That's how I'm going into next week. I'm not finished to be done playing with this season. So going into next week, take it like it could be the last one, but I'm going to fight like hell to have more.
Is there any commonality for you in these last couple of games? Preparation or something at the start of the game that you seem to be missing?
I couldn't tell you for team-wise. I approach every game the same way.
Do 2 more questions.
Brandon, what did you see from Mac in the first half, obviously, when you guys were struggling, and then over those last 2 drives when you go down and score?
A hell of a football player. Like, he didn't quit. He stayed in the game the entire time. And coming from your young quarterback or rookie quarterback, that's what you love to see, and it's easy to get up and play for a guy like that.
Can you take any sort of silver lining in a loss like this or a loss like Indy where you guys fall behind but do, come back and make it a 1-score game late?
Me personally, no, we still lost at the end of the day.
Thanks, Brandon.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, pitcher running back Brandon Bolden and found the end zone on 2 different occasions. We're waiting on Bill Belichick. We're waiting on Mac Jones. We'll see who else comes to the podium as well. Patriots.
I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Connor, what's the confidence level of the team going for the playoffs right now?
I mean, it'll be good. I mean, we're going to learn from this. And, I mean, we didn't play our best today, offensively. I mean, we just gave them too much. Obviously, we gave them a touchdown, turned the ball over in the red zone, some crucial mistakes just offensively. But things that we can learn from, and I felt like we finished strong too. So we just got to play consistently. And but, yeah, I mean, I don't think we lost any confidence. I mean, we know what we have in there. We just got to play clean football, and I mean that's the biggest thing.
Is there anything you can pinpoint with some of these slow starts? Is there anything that comes through?
I mean, we've had games where we started fast, and we've had games where we don't. So, kind of goes hand in hand. I think it's just we got to execute better early in the game. I mean, they came out ready to play, and we just didn't. Put yourself in a hole like we did. I mean, it's very tough, so I mean. We got to learn from it and just keep going and keep. I mean, it's a new season. I mean, it really is, and so everything is on the line now.
You guys will go to two different places depending on what happens tonight. How much will you watch the game tonight to just?
Honestly, I don't even know. I'm just gonna, whoever we line up against and play. I mean, that's who it is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we just got to go out and take care of business.
You get asked every week, but, we still have a rookie quarterback, and he still had a few early mistakes, but we saw those drives late in the second half. Just give me a little bit more impression, week to week, what you see.
I mean, he's tough. He's resilient. Obviously, it shows a lot. I mean, he obviously didn't play his best early, had some crucial mistakes, and I know he's going to learn from them and grow, and just I mean, he's young, but still, I mean, just the resiliency of him, the toughness of him, taking some shots today, especially. I mean, he's a tough dude, and I'm glad to have him as our quarterback.
Audrey, was there anything different you saw from them in the first half? You know, game plan wrinkles. What were you seeing there?
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely bringing some pressure. You know, mixing up coverages, doing different things that you know, we just weren't on to the best of that we should have. And then, I mean, we threw a ball into a good player, made a play, and you know, we had 2 turnovers like that. I mean, it crushes us, and we put ourselves in a hole. I mean, it's tough, you know, early on. It kind of changes sometimes what we got to do.
Last question.
Earlier you said you've got to play clean football, and that's a key for you. But what is the key to getting back to playing clean football?
I think it starts in the week, focusing on it weekend, you know, every single day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, just reminding ourselves in practice. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, is going out there and executing in practice, and just being conscious of it. I mean, I felt like we protected the ball better as a skill group. I mean, we gave them 2 in the first game, fumbles, and then, you know, no fumbles today, you know, the mishandled snap and a pick, but you know, it's just being conscious, all of us, you know, where defenders are and protecting the ball.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
This is trying to end Hunter Henry, Patriots captain Devin McCourty. Got the podium now.
Do you think this team's ready for the playoffs?
I don't have a choice. Start next week.
Is it harder to prepare for a team like Cincinnati? We don't, like, when we land tonight, you guys are probably gonna know who you play based on the outcome. Is it harder to play for a team you haven't seen, not know much about, as opposed to a division opponent you guys already played twice?
Yeah, you gotta definitely do more work. You know, like, I haven't seen really. I mean, I've seen highlights and stuff, but I haven't seen Cincinnati much at all. So, yeah, as a group, we really gotta, you know, jump in. But I would say no matter who we play, it's that time of the year that you want to know as much as possible about your opponent, not take it for granted. Even though we played Buffalo twice towards the end of the season, you don't want to take that for granted either. So no matter who we play, we're fighting to come to work the next day. So you want to put everything into it, because, you know, if you don't, that's it. You know, we have another performance like this, that's it. So I think as a group, you know, everybody individually, you want to just put your all into it, because there's no tomorrow.
The culture that's in place here, you guys, you know, you always want to be building something again. The way these 3 of the last 4 games have gone, how concerning is it the direction it's headed?
Well, one, I would say culture doesn't matter. Each team, you are what you are. You know, I say it every year. We always talk about what teams in the past have done is really irrelevant to the current team. You know, those teams in the past had different players. And, you know, I think we can't rely on that and bank on that. And we talk about it all the time. Obviously, you want to be playing your best football, and we haven't, you know. So we got to turn the page, and we got to have a good week of practice and rely on that, because we don't have the 3-4 weeks in a row of good football to rely on. You know, it hasn't been our best. But I think if we sit there and, you know, say like, hey, we got no shot because it hasn't been our best, then we might as well not even show up next week. So we just got to put our heads down, get to work, and go out there and play our best football. We know each Sunday is a different opportunity, kind of any given Sunday, and, you know, I think that's how we got to prepare, no matter who we play, and go out there and try to get a win.
Devin, what is it about these Dolphins that have given you guys trouble over the years?
Well, I wouldn't even say the Dolphins. I mean, what do we lose? 3 out of the last 5, I would say. It's been more us towards this end of the season, you know, that, you know, we haven't played well, you know, no matter really who we've played. So it hasn't just been the Dolphins, obviously, division opponent, and we come down here and the record is what it is. But today we happen to be down in Miami, but the way we played, I don't think it matters if we would have played the Dolphins down here or played at home against anybody else. It just wasn't good.
Are there any common threads in some of these slow starts that you pointed?
Bad football. I would say it's always something else. You know, it hasn't been one thing. It's been a combination of, you know, bad football, a bad play here, and then instead of having one bad play and moving forward, we have 2 good plays and then another bad play. Then, you know, we let them score on offense, then on defense, then we throw a pick 6. So it's just a combination of bad complementary football, bad football on, you know, both sides of the ball. And then you look up and you're in a hole, and, you know, we've fought, you know, these last couple of weeks, and, you know, I think we know we have heart to come back and fight. We've given ourselves a chance to win. But you get in the playoffs and you get down 17-zip, it's going to be a long day. Everybody's a good team. Everybody's fighting to work the next week. You're not going to be able to do that. So whatever it is, we got to find a way to, no matter what happens, kind of move on to the next play and try to string good plays together instead of having, good, bad, good, bad. Like we can't live like that.
What did you see from their running game? They had 195 yards on the ground. I know you're in the back end, but what did you see what they were doing to have that success?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to watch it and see. The running game's always tough to know exactly what it was as soon as the game ends. But a couple plays on the edge, the one to Duke Johnson, and then the quarterback scrambles, hurt us too. So run game is always about consistency, play after play, and we just fell short today. Appreciate it.
It's picture of Captain Devin McCourty. We're waiting on picture head coach Bill Belichick to come to the podium as we speak. These guys are in the locker room getting dressed and head on a plane. Head back to the Patriots. As I mentioned, 10-7 in the regular season. You'll find out who they play next later on tonight. It's going to be interesting to see. The one thing we do know is that the Patriots are moving on, and they are moving on the road. So that's the story here in Miami. We're going to take a break. As we go to break, let's try to get in our poll question. Can we? Will the Patriots win their first playoff game? Yes or no? Log on to CBSSports.com and vote. We'll be right back. Right after this news. Mike? After.
Do you mind?
Yeah, no. I think that'd be cool for 4 people in Buffalo. Western. Huh? The show breaks it.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line. Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
Obviously played poorly, coached poorly, just didn't do anything very well. So just too many mistakes, way too many. So we'll go look at the film, turn the page here, and make some corrections, and move on to next week. So that's really about it.
Bill, right before halftime on that 4th and 1, was the play just to try to draw the other team off sides?
Yeah, it's another poorly executed play.
Was there any thought to going for it there?
The whole thing was poorly executed.
Is there a common denominator here with some of these slow starts?
Yeah, I don't know. Not sure.
Bill, on the fumbled snap, was there something with David that physically that had him out for dead, or was that more rotation?
No, poorly executed play.
Bill, was from what you could tell, was Miami in some sort of trap coverage on Max Pick?
Cover 2.
What would you like to see out of your team this week as you prepare for the playoffs?
Yeah, well, we'll go back to work here, like I said. Look at the game today and get ready for next week.
Is there any positive takeaway with how the team battled back there in the 4th?
Yeah. It wasn't good enough today, so just leave it at that.
How much did the factor that you needed some defensive backs with Kyle Duggar down and Miles are not available contribute to not having Christian Wilkerson elevated after his performance last week?
Didn't really have anything to do with it.
What was the factor that led to him not being elevated after his performance last week?
Yeah, you're only allowed 2 standard activations.
Have you received any update on Isaiah Wynn or Christian Barmore?
Yeah, no.
When Hunter was up here, he said that you guys need to get back to playing clean football. Is there a key to that you see?
Yeah, playing clean football. Yeah, doing it. We're not doing it now.
You started scouting the Bengals. You know the Bills. Have you started scouting the Bengals at all?
It's what we normally do, Ben. There's people in our organization that work ahead, and there's other people that work on this game, and then they move into it, so it's the same thing.
On the penalty on the punt, illegal formation, is that just the player lining up over the snapper illegally?
What do you mean?
What was the penalty? I was curious.
Yeah.
That's what the penalty
The pass interference on Jalen Mills in the end zone, big play, seemed like kind of a questionable penalty. You didn't seem too thrilled about it. Just, I guess, how do you feel about the way some of those penalties were called today?
Go talk to the officials.
Do you feel like they've been calling DPI tighter this year?
Yeah, I don't know. Go talk to the officials on it. It's not my job.
Final question? The Dolphins offense, I mean, what did they come out with that put stress on you on that first drive?
Again, a lot of poor execution, poor coaching, poor playing. All right, thank you.
Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. Obviously not too happy with the way the Patriots played this afternoon, but they got a feeling
Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line.
I just want to start this off and say I'm praying for you. My brother Cornjury, he just had a gruesome injury, and just want you to know I love you, bro. And like, I hate this so much, but I love you, bro, and I'm just praying for you, and I'm
Who was it? Quandre Diggs?
yeah, but I love you, and I'm gonna talk to you as soon as I can. But I'm praying for you, and let's just get this over with, man. Ain't nobody got no questions?
Sorry to hear about that.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you're okay. You're good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, so that's Adrian Phillips. Obviously, my program just happened. I want to bring Mike Reese in here because waiting on pitcher quarterback Matt Jones as well, and that sort of caught us off guard because we were not expecting that. And obviously, tears came to his eyes, and we want to go on with that situation. But
Talking about Quandre Diggs, obviously he's very close to
Right.
Steve. We'll find out some more information. I mean, we're at this game, we're not familiar with everything that's going on around the league, but you see how emotional Adrian was, and he said, do you have any questions? And I think everyone in the room said, seeing how emotional he was, you know what, well, why don't you go take your time, and that's more important than any questions that we need to answer, you know, to ask at this time.
And he knew that, and he knew to walk away, and we wanted to be respectful of that. Talking about injuries, Mike, we saw Christian Butler get off the injured card, and you could certainly see he could not put any pressure on his leg.
On his right leg, yeah, that's the unfortunate part of this, Steve. You know, if you're playing in this game for playoff seeding, and Bill Belichick's playing his guys, and you know that when you're doing that, there's always the possibility of an injury that can linger into the playoffs. Say from Andre Stevenson in the first half, when he went out with a head injury, you're thinking that could lead into the playoffs. He
came back. Right.
I would say based on what we saw with Christian Barmore, I wouldn't expect him in the playoffs, and this is the type of thing that looks like it'll impact his off season. He was very emotional, sort of paint the picture for everyone that's watching us here. We were waiting outside to come in this room. The cart came down the tunnel where they were in the x-ray room where they take tests when they bring players back, and his head was just down and just really emotional, I would say.
No question
about it. I saw
about it.
looking at Christian Barmore. Very impressive rookie interior rusher. He will be a big loss for the Patriots.
Boy, and you know, when he got off the cart, obviously he needed some assistance getting off the cart, but he could not put any pressure on his leg when they brought him back into the locker room. And obviously that's the
Together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Well, I know you're anxious to move forward, right? Put this one behind you and head towards the playoffs. Well, what can you learn from a situation like this, Matt?
Yeah, I think we just need to execute better, and that starts with me. Just in practice, in the game, like you got to go out there and do much better than we did today, and it's super embarrassing, honestly. Just from my point, just how I played wasn't good enough, and I can be better. And it starts with me. I'm the quarterback, and that's my job, is to make people around me have success, and it starts with me. So we'll get it fixed. I think, like you said, you got to watch the film and learn from it and realize how embarrassing it is to play that way. But at the same time, we got a great opportunity next week, and that's all you can ask for.
Pretty hard on yourself, Mac, obviously, that start. Do you take solace in kind of some of the later play, or you seem pretty hard on yourself right now?
Yeah, I think we lost, and that's all that matters. And we put the other units in kind of a bad position with the way we played, and you can't blame or point fingers on anybody besides me and the offense. And we know we can play better, and we have great players on our offense, and we know that wasn't our best product in terms of execution. I think we definitely fought hard, but we're coming up short. So if we can combine the execution part and the effort together, I think the result will be a lot better.
Mac, using the word embarrassing, that's pretty strong. Is that more of a collective thing with the last month or specific to today?
No, I think, we can play better, and that's what it was. I feel like we got to put a better product out there, especially to win big games. And the team we played tonight was the better team, and they executed better than we did, and there's nothing we can really do about it now. But I think, at the same time, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to move on and learn from your mistakes, and take the positives and then look at the negatives too. You can't just brush the negatives under the rug.
Matt, can you describe what happened on the fumble snap and sort of what led to Ted?
Yeah, I think it was just one of those things, something had happened and he had to go in there, and our job is to, I've been doing that since Pop Warner, just get the ball from the center. It doesn't matter who the center is. It wasn't Ted's fault, it was my fault. I got to get the ball and hand it off to the running back. It's not like it was some giant play that required a bunch of things. So, you never want those things to happen, but now we know during pre-practice we can get more work, just get back to the fundamentals of it.
I know you're close with Christian. Did you get a chance to see him after this?
Yeah, I did. I saw him. I'm not sure exactly what happened and all, but I just told him that I love him and I have his back no matter what. He's a great player, and he's been a great teammate to me at Alabama and obviously here too. He's really positive, and I hope he's okay.
Mac, during the week you guys two more questions. Setting the table, getting things right here. Was the level of frustration that didn't happen today?
Yeah, I think it's frustrating, but like I said, we just have to put a better execution out there, and that's the game of football. It's a little bit of an emotional game, but it comes down to the X's and O's and the execution, and I can execute better, and I know everybody on the offense feels that way. I'm sure the defense and special teams can speak for themselves, but we just have to come together as three units and put the better product on the field and not feel the way we felt about when we walked off the field, like that wasn't how we wanted to play the game. So that's really the moral of the story.
Mac, what did you think you saw on the pick six before the play started?
I'm not going to get into the logistics. I knew what coverage they were playing. I just didn't see the outside guy, and I threw it too wide, and that was my fault. But it's just cover two. There's nothing to it. It's simple, and I got to read it out and do a better job getting the ball to the right guy.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
I pitch your quarterback, Mac Jones. Boy, a lot of motion. A lot of motion.
Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn,